For sports, right here it's the whistle time and it's sports analysis with, of course, the two pundits right here. My name is Owen Izaga and I have Benson Pastori. A lot of things to discuss right here with, of course, different big names that you could be talking about in the world of sports. But it is the very big one for that is the week. We're already in the weekend and it's a Friday. Welcome, Benson. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Owen. Good afternoon, the viewers who are catching us from different places we have in the region. As you said, a lot of stories continues to break in the world of sports and fixtures continue to happen in different sporting fraternities, not only in football. You talk about hockey, so many activities that are taking place from the different angles we have in the whole world. The only thing you do is just stay next to a screen as we break for you the contents.
By dialing away that screen will be missing a lot, but of course you can also follow, that is the link in case you are watching from the YouTube. Drop in your comments right there and of course be part of this very interesting story right here. Just like said, let's start with the top story coming in from the University League, where all the big talks about the University League are in at this moment that you could be talking about. Yes, Chiambogo was a team that played against Mvara. I mean Muni, not Mvara, but of course Muni had to see, of course, Chiambogo them off. Of course, Chiambogo beat Muni, and this is a bad one for that is the home university right here. Let's have more from that. What exactly went wrong?
Exactly, that is the point we are going to kickstart with. Muni losing into the hands of Chiambogo University. To me, it was not a surprising result because you take a look at what every university presents when it comes to football. I think Muni is one of the universities that, of course, have been ranked the last, and at least being edged narrowly by a goal to nil. It shows great. It shows great improvement on the side of Muni. In fact, before the game took place, Muni, of course, they were maintaining the second position in that group, but after picking the defeat into the hands of the university, that's Chiambogo, it has to sink them to third position. But if you take a look at how the other universities will be sealing the qualification to the knockout stages, normally in each group we have in 4 universities. That means the top 2 will qualify for the knockout stages, and if it will continue like this, that means Muni University rather, they may not seal the qualification to the knockout stages. We still have got so many games to be played. Remember, these games are played on home and away basis. 4 teams in each group. Of course, in total, each university, of course, will have to play around 6 games. So far, they have played 2. They are not doing all that very badly. Out of the 2 games they have played, they have managed to pick a draw in the first game against Ndeje University. Yesterday was their second game, which, of course, did not end very well for them, losing into the hands of that Chiambogo. As I said, what I want to say about the result is it's not all about it's not all that a very bad result for them. That means they have shown the momentum. They can still do something in the upcoming games, especially the game against Makerere University, and they still have got the other games to be played with Ndeje and the home fixer, return fixer up against Chiambogo.
Looking at this, are you anyway surprised about the game, how exactly it has gone, the results that have come out there? Yeah, it was a slim win, but of course a win will always be a win. Is that a surprise?
To some extent it may be a surprising result because the pressure was mounting on the university, just Chiambogo being one of the favorites to win this season's University League trophy. And you take a look at where they have been pitted. They have been pitted against their Jirani, against their neighbor. I'm talking about Makerere University, already losing the first game into the hands of their neighbors. They needed to bounce back from the defeat, at least pick something against Muni University. And the surprising result actually depends on the scoreline which came out of the game. A slim win, because Muni University, as I said, being a smaller university in terms of football, people expected them to have at least considered so many goals against Chiambogo, but just scoring 1 against Muni University, as I said, it shows some kind of improvement in the camp of that Muni University, but the pace will still keep on going, and the 2 universities, Chiambogo and Makerere University, still in the same group, now knows that Muni this time they are not on either side. Even if the joke we may see at the end Muni proceeding to the knockout stages, either Chiambogo as Makerere University, either of the 2 may end up not sealing the qualification to the knockout stages. But the fact is, the 2 giants, of course, they are the favorites to proceed ahead in that group.
Now, Coach Chambogo has been one of the biggest names you could hear. Moves or Makerere even at the same time has been one of the sides that have been so dominant in this. I should say maybe they are one of the biggest numbers that have won that would be emerging champions over the University League. To me, it wasn't a surprise because Mooney is just a young baby coming up, trying to showcase and of course trying to prove to the world that this is where we can do and this is what we can also show our talent. So I would want to urge that it's the Mooney that of course next year more additions to come, because we can't rule them out right now. They still have 2-3 games to go that they can play. And even this position, some teams, maybe you could see them get into the next round.
Like we have just been discussing, this time there is a great improvement from the side of University, unlike previous seasons where we saw them swallowing goals for fun. And if you take a look at how they have been performing in the last 2 games they have played, in fact they are one of the universities that have only swallowed fewer number of goals. I can confirm to you they have only swallowed 1 goal, that was yesterday. And some of the universities like University of Kisubi, on Tuesday we saw the University of Uganda Christian University running riot over them, scoring 7, and they could only answer 1 to that 7 goals. That means if they continue with that mentality of defending, maybe at the end, of course, the university may end up one of the best, more especially in the department of the defense line. But still, as we said, we are following the story, we are following the competition up to when the finals are going to be played, and of course we will emerge as the champions. And we still want to repeat it again, the defending champions of course is still Uganda Martyrs University, that have started very well, 2 games played, winning both of them, and as well as the runners-up of last season is St. Lawrence University. They are also doing very well. We are following each and every time, we are bringing you the updates of what is transpiring on that side.
All right, that's one of the biggest things right there, but of course we're expecting a very tense game that will be coming right through, and that is one big thing. Before we get to the other stories, just like said yesterday, we talked about Enos Walusimbi, Enoch are coming in there, and now they have trusted him as the captain of the team. What do you say about that? He has just come into the team.
He has just arrived at the team, just like you have said, over the summer transfer window. I think it's a good one. I saw it coming because you take a look at the players of URA. URA is one of the teams that of course did let go so many players, they are former players, and having the experience of being a captain for Express and also captaining the team of Uganda Hippos way back in 2021, and also having that CV profile and the experience of playing not within the continent and also outside the continent, playing in Scottish League for Peterhead. I think they have done a very good decision, a very good move to see that they actually appointed him as their new captain. I think no doubt about that one. It's a good one and also a very good offer for him.
Back to that is the FUFA Big League, where of course Police, a football club, ran riot over. That is the team of course. Yes, Police yesterday won their game, and of course they really needed to see that this is the moment. And Deje University is the team we're talking about yet again, after of course a very, very big margin by that is Police that makes them go on top of the table. What do you think about Police's run? We rated them one of the biggest clubs to probably go ahead in the StarTimes Uganda Premier League this season.
Yeah, they have in the chance.
9 consecutive points. That means they have kept the pedigree, they have not lost any game.
Exactly, that means they have got the momentum. 3 games so far played, accumulating 9 points. That means they still maintain their 100% start to the new season of StarTimes FUFA Big League. Just like you have said, they are one of the favorites, and people are all fixing their eyes on them. And the misery also keeps on piling on that team that's in Deje University. 3 games they have played, losing all of them, not even having any point. It seems Deje, of course, will still continue to suffer the same way they suffered last season, because last season we saw them surviving the relegation in narrow, and this one has also not started on a good note for them. Though the last few games they have played, they have been playing against actually some of the big sides. I expected them to at least maybe mix the results. Maybe if in the other game they pick a defeat, at least in the other game they should be able to console themselves by a draw. But coming up against a strong side of Police, and some few weeks ago we have actually been discussing the quality the team of Police of late possess. I think it's not by mistake, maintaining still their 100% start to the new season, and they are the favorites unless something may happen in the middle of the season as at the end of the season. But otherwise, I know 70% of the people they still rely behind
January is for recruitment, and of course many clubs will be reinforcing, and of course you've seen they have not gotten any point in the previous 3 games right there, which leads them at the rock bottom, as probably looking into ways of whether they could be pushing away from there. And that is the question everyone is asking now. Police, with all the names you could see, even getting in Star Times Uganda Premier League players, most of them from Arua Hill Sports Club, most of them from Express Football Club. Talk about all the names like Kachanchu, Gaddafi, who are right here. A lot of names. You would see Emmanuel, who scored yesterday's last goal. These are names from the Star Times Uganda Premier League. Of course, adding them into the team, that shows you the ambition. Because Police missed narrowly last season ahead of the games that probably went in there. Big league is becoming tense, but of course, a lot of teams still have hopes to make sure that they get there. Now, West Nile best side, Calvary Football Club, after their press conference yesterday, did also announce their hopes of getting into the Star Time Uganda Premier League yesterday, and looking hopefully to get into the greater Star Times Uganda Premier League. It has been a serious move for Calvary. They have been putting it every time, and now that this season is the season that we need to get into the Star Time Premier League. 2 games, solid 3 points, good start for the club right there. Would you say maybe it's a very bad one, because or a good one, because they played against Tigezi Homeboys and then got a win away to, that is the new entrants. I'm talking about that is Young Elephants. 2 different clubs. One was at home and in there now. They get to their home game this Sunday.
About Calvary, yes, we should say it has started very well for them. 2 games so far played, winning both of them and having something of around 6 points to themselves. We cannot judge these teams right now, because in total we are supposed to, these teams of course will have to play more than 30 games. I think about 30 games to finalize the season. It's true that the journey actually has already started. Once you start on a good note, of course it gives that spirit, it brings the team together. People will start to speak something positive about you. And in the university, if I may still go back, they have not started it very well. Of course, people have already started ruling them as far as making the shift to Uganda Premier League is concerned. But teams that have at least started picking the positive results, Police, we have just been discussing, still turning the focus to Calvary, that they have started it very well. They have the chance. But you take a look at the weight of the teams they have won against in the last 2 games, 2 games they have played. Actually, these 2 sides, they are the newly promoted side. They are yet to understand the weight of the league. You talk about Tigezi Homeboys, they are still new. I think it was something very easy for Calvary to have picked the win against the team of Tigezi Homeboys, though they had to suffer to pick the win against a young Elephant, another newly promoted side. I think it was an easy win for them, though in football win does not come easily. But their fate will rely on how they are going to perform in the upcoming fixtures.
The next game will be against Lugazi, and Lugazi, that of course I think, if I'm not mistaken, at home, they are home beater. That is the team was by then the public relations, and yeah, it was a 3-goals thriller right there. Lugazi here at home, I think, also gave high day by then to the club, and those are the 2 things. But of course, Calvary had picked 3 maximum points home here, and then of course Lugazi went away giving her time. So these are the things.
And also Lugazi is a stubborn side. The recent games they have played,
they reinforced.
They have not been performing very well, and against the Calvary, they know that up against Calvary they have actually been performing very well. This might be the time for them to pick something against Calvary. And the other question is, are they going to maintain the consistency in winning these games? Is also another thing we are looking at. In case they are going to maintain the consistency, the reason as to why, as I said, the journey starts right now is how are you going to widen the points gap between yourselves and the teams that are sitting behind you. If I may still take it backwards to last season, we saw teams like Chitara, NEC FC, Mbara City, they had to widen the points gap between themselves and the teams that we are sitting behind them. The points gap was very huge. Like I said, the season has just started by the team of Calvary with only 6 points. can they be able to win maybe 4 to 5 games consecutively to see that they widen the points gap between themselves and teams that are sitting behind them? And how about the performance of the teams that are sitting behind them? Kataka is also proving very hard. On Tuparaka Football Club, they will still want to also bounce back and perform very well. Black's Power will not rule them out. The fate always depends on how you are going to keep the consistency in the upcoming games, and at the same time, how, of course, the other teams sitting behind you are going to put the result on the table.
Next trip will be after, that is the Lugazi game, will be at Jinda Boys. I'm not Jinda, but of course they will have a game in Ibanda. That's going to be one of the biggest one also in Ibanda, so we shall be waiting to see what exactly that will be. It's probably a game that will be at the borders of Uganda and so close to Rwanda, right there. It's a long distance. So according to the reports I'm getting from Cavalry's camp, probably they will be setting off all traveling on Monday after the Sunday game. Immediately they will have to go to they will set off for a journey to that is Ibanda. So you look at all those distances. Winning this game at home against Lugazi will give them the favor to see that they get themselves that side.
It's true. Calvary up against Lugazi. This is the time. Of course, they are going to prove to the whole world, west to the Ugandans, that they can be able to do it. This is their third consecutive season to play in FUFA Big League, and people are demanding a lot from them. And the only demand people are expecting from them is to see that they impress themselves, to see that they cross to that UPL. Can they be able to do it? The last 2 games, as I said, I cannot judge them based on how they have been performing in the 2 games. Actually, the journey will start up against some of the teams that have ever been there in start times FUFA Big League. Can you beat it? Can you maybe play a draw with the Police? Can you be able to beat a certain Lugazi? Ndeje is coming. Can you surprise the world? And you have got a certain stubborn Jinza North United. Can you go away and beat them? Is actually what people will be expecting from them. And towards the end of last season, we saw Calvary not having a good run of form when they were on away basis. Are they going to maintain the same thing? If they will still maintain that one, of course, it's going to affect them. At least if they are away, they should be able to pick something like a draw. When they are at home, maybe fight hard, pick the maximum number of points. If the worst comes to worst against a big team, a tough team, at least they should be able to put something like a draw. That one will still keep them alive in the race.
Still in the FUFA Big League, on Duparaka Football Club will be hosting Kataka Football Club at Green Light Stadium. That is going to be one of the biggest days for you probably to come through. And also and for those who are in Yumbe, you should also be getting yourself right there at that is Midigo Primary School grounds. That's where Calvary will be welcoming the team of Lugazi right away. So all the West Nile clubs will be in action this Sunday. It will only be you to determine where you want to watch. Other games are right there, and then of course next week all will also go away. But of course remember, match day 4 on Duparaka Football Club will not be in action because they will be off. That means it's Calvary playing on Thursday again this coming Thursday, so they will have to travel on Monday to see how exactly this would be. Now moving away from the start times, I mean the big league, getting into what exactly is also happening in that is ahead of the new season. Yes, the FUFA Women's Super League fixtures have also been released. Teams, leagues and different tournaments are getting on. Now the FUFA Super 8, I mean the Super Women's Super League is coming back. We saw last season was so tense with different clubs. Have you seen clubs, ladies clubs, rejuvenated and of course reinforcing already?
Of late, I've seen Ugandan football, of course, taking a step up front when it comes to ladies football. And there is one thing I need to appreciate, congratulate FUFA of lady, the way they actually arranging these things. Of course, is something which is very, very pleasing. We have just seen the Start Times Uganda Premier League kickstarting just after it was after a week we saw the kickstarting of the Start Times FUFA Big League, and it has only lasted for also a week, and the ladies football is also bouncing back on the table. By the point of discussion is all about who are going to be the icons. I remember there was a club called C Corporates. They were the champions of 2021/2022. Last season was not a good one for them, and they are nowhere to be seen. They have gone back to into the relegation. And last season we saw Kampala Queens emerging as the champions. Now are they going to defend it? And we have seen the emergence of new teams like Wakiso Hills, now the sister club to that Vipers. We know that Vipers, of course, they have in everything. We never know, and I am not surprised, and I want to be surprised if Wakiso Hills, of course, will come on top and overpower some of the traditional teams that, of course, have been generating Ugandan football. From the side of the ladies, we talk about Uganda Matters, UC Ukanos, the C Maroons we have been talking about. And one thing about Ugandan football as far as the ladies category is concerned is there is no team that can be able to keep the consistency. The best example I can give is C Corporates. They have ever generated a lot of stars that they are playing for the C Cranes, and others are not playing within the country, but they have gone to the relegation. Now Kampala Queens, the ball is into their hands. Can they be able to defend it? Can they be able to perform it the same way they have been doing it? And also the newly promoted side, Wakiso Hills, can they be able to do it with the money they have in with the Vipers? Can they be able to do it? Just you have said the season is just starting, and we cannot judge any team at the moment because this is Ugandan football. It is ladies football. Anything can happen, so we are following.
Let me ask you a question. What could be the biggest challenge? What could be the biggest problem of the teams not keeping consistency? Because you talked about consistency. That's one thing that we should be talking about. We've seen names like Kawempa Muslim. We've seen names like Chiburi, Modernesses. We've seen names like the She Corporates. The Nalukenges came out from all these teams. What has been affecting these teams not to perform?
To me, the support has been inadequate. Why am I saying so? You know, ladies football has just been introduced in Uganda, and people don't pay much attention into it. And also, you know, of late football is all about investment, or as a reinvestment, and people do not invest so much in ladies football. And also at the same time, the reason as to why we have seen some of these clubs not even keeping the consistency and maybe maintaining themselves in the league, or as also winning the title is all about, you see, some of these clubs, once they may be not a player like this, a great player like this, I can give you an example with the C Corporates, C Maroons, you talk about Kampala Queens. Once you see a star coming out of the team, you always see them casting on the player, and we have seen some of the good players that have come from these teams leaving to the European countries. And the best example where, of course, we have a dense number of Ugandan players, of course, is of course Denmark. In Denmark, we have a lot of our ladies that are playing that side, and you cannot see these clubs keeping these players for 3 to 4 seasons. That might be the reason as to why they have failed to keep the consistency, because once I nurture a good player, next season I cast on her, of course that player will leave a gap. To me, that is one point I've been looking at.
Are you telling me clubs don't need to cash on players? Because they're players who are playing there for purpose. They need to get greener pastures. Now Lukenge plays out, and she's from here. What Mary Nuba, when she was playing netball from here, then she went out. Leave alone that. Now, when it comes to football, there's rules. The root, Daisy Nakaziros, they have all been, you know, playing here, but they go out. I think that is a good one in a way that they are exposed. Their talent is working out for them. I feel that could be the motive. Get, sell, and this money, invest in the players, invest in your club again.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good thing to see our ladies moving outside the country, even outside the continent, to play for some of these European countries, European clubs rather. But to 30%, I should say, you should also be in position to maintain these players within the camp. If you want to, the point actually you mentioned was, if you want to keep your consistency within the league, the top tier of ladies football.
Trust me, Benson, if it is your club and your aim is to make money, football is right now business.
Yeah,
if someone spots Owen as your player, good one,
now
you will sell me.
Yeah, if
and I need to get a replacement. You need to get a replacement.
If your priority is all about money, of course you will get the money. At the end, the maintenance of the club will become a problem.
Are you telling me that clubs shouldn't be selling players? Is my question.
This will sell. Like if you have not had around 8 good players out of the 8, maybe you sell 5 of them, then the 3 you keep them. And also the other thing which will keep attracting good players into your team is of course your form, your consistency, and the way you play. And trust me, a player will be interested in coming to Kampala Queens because they know that anytime they can be able to win the league, and it will earn for them the medal. And if Kampala Queens maybe loses maybe most of the star players and see Maroons is performing very well, players of course they will be diverted to the other side. You need to keep the consistency and winning mentality.
For me, the only thing I would say is clubs need to invest rightly. That is one. 2, clubs need to get what exactly they are, because if I sell a player, I need to get a replacement. If you don't get the right replacement, then you're going to suffer. Benson, if you sell me to a club, you need to get a replacement for
exactly me. That is the point.
To keep it moving. I will come and of course get that is when also someone will spot this player and sell. That is the football business. And that's how Mulindwa is doing good with the Viper Sports Club. He will sell Manzoki and bring you Otavio from Brazil. He will bring in another player. He will have Milton Carissa to come here. He will take out Milton Carissa. He brings for you an Alan Okello, still creative. So that's business. Football is business. If only this lady's team in that way, then you could be. But again, a lot of challenges in these games, of course, that keep affecting club proprietors. Football is so expensive. Players need allowances, players need salaries, and players need, I think it is one